Yeah, I didn't know if you or Wally were going to share, but basically, if you guys are tuning in right now, it's still the backstory. I just didn't want to keep you guys waiting at all.
Hey, everybody.
This is Good Morning, Good Life, Russ.
Bring it up on my.
And we're going to get the vibes going. We're going to get the vibes going this morning.
This one.
It is Friday. Let's do it.
I'm going to send a link to myself.
Hey.
Just so you can still have your phone.
Feel it in your body. Feel it in your toes. Feel it in your chest, babe. That's how it goes. 1 2 1 2. Get up in here. Get up in here. I am your auntie's favorite DJ. Listen, if I don't have my glasses, you know what? If I don't, I keep an extra pair. I'm not even gonna worry about it. I do keep an extra pair. Here, you got them contacts today? Listen, don't go nowhere real quick. I'm go run and get my second pair of glasses.
Yes, ma'am. Can you bring me in?
Absolutely.
What up, everybody? What's up, sis? Good morning.
Feeling in you. Good morning, sweetheart. Good morning. Please share this on your page. Today we got something really special. 2 things that are really special. We got a guest coming on by way of the Bird Plug, Walli. You know, we are stepping things up to make things more better for you. You know, we love the fact that you love us, that you love on us, but you also want to hear perspectives from other people as well. And this is what we're here to do. The other thing is we had a contest going on. I know I didn't announce it, but we need you to comment, like, and share, and we will put you in a raffle today. $25 gift certificate, $25 gift card to CJ's tonight, which is basically, you know, you come out and have a good time, hear a bunch of people sing, karaoke, and eat good food. It's a great time. So like, comment, share, and you will be in a raffle. So we'll go through that after the show, see who's like, comment, and share, and we'll be shouting this out throughout the show, and I will announce the winner sometime around 1 or 2 o'clock. We'll just say 2 o'clock just to be pinpoint and on point. Again, we apologize for any of the technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. We are in the building. 1 2 1 2. I think we're all in here. I think we are all in here. Yeah, Grand Rising, good sir. I want to give y'all a round of applause already, just for being on the check-in. Again, we just went ahead and started the show because we know that, you know, you guys expect us to be on at a certain time. We didn't want you to pass us by, but we got a great show for you today. Good morning, everyone. Hey, Lil Woman is on it today. Share this on your page. Go ahead and share this on your page. We got a lot of great stuff to talk about, but just to give you a little something is that we have great dialogue before the show. And this is why the shows that you experience are enriched with a lot of good stuff for the souls, because we prepare our minds and our souls even before we go live. And I want to show y'all. Shane, come here. I already got this thing set. So at the end of the day, Shane is filming today. Can you say hi to a few people, Shane?
Hello.
Shane is in the building. All right, Shane, we got to work. So, So, that being said, Wally's here. Good Life is here. 60 seconds. I'm going to show you. I'm going to turn that down. So, good morning, sir. I'm talking to you.
Good morning.
For those who don't know, this is Good Life. This is his show. We just happen to be the team that formulates around this show. This is about not only mental health. People think it's a mental health show, but it is a show about wellness, mental wellness, spiritual wellness, and everything all around and in between. We talk about and put a lot of things on the table. As Tim had already said before we went on air, a lot of this dialogue we want you to have around the dinner table. We want you to be comfortable having it in your church. We want you to be comfortable having it in your community. So I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. So I just want to give a shout out to everybody that's out there that watches the show. I think we definitely gonna start doing announcements and stuff at the beginning.
Sure.
Stuff we got going on. Working on some more children's books at the moment.
Dope.
All you published authors looking to get published, reach out to me while I start starting some programs. Help y'all get y'all's books published and out and on these shelves in these libraries and these schools. Yeah. So that's what we're working on. Shout out to Miss Walli. Her cooking class yesterday. She'll tell you all about that.
Hey.
And I just want to timestamp this of how excited I am about this show and where this show is headed. And that, we always had the vision. And this is just showing y'all out there, like, it takes hard work. Life is not just good intentions. You got to put the work behind it. So as much as we enjoy coming in here, this is hard work. We all have families and lives outside of this. So I just want you to be mindful when you pay attention to anything that's being broadcast, that person has to go in there, hit record, edit this down, pay somebody, you know what I mean? Do their thing. So show love, because I love
Get lab hours.
I love it. I love what we do. So show love to your people. That's all I got to say. I ain't gonna keep y'all too long.
Peace. Greetings, everyone. Yes, I had a cooking class yesterday, and it was associated with the Bronzeville Farmers Market or Growers Market, actually down in Mount Vernon area.
Nice.
That community is tapped into exactly what the show is about. Giving back to the community, having these tough conversations that are life-changing. So, yeah, the cooking class was amazing. We had some black bean stew.
Nice.
All veggies. Everybody got to learn how to make it right there and taste it. So it was pretty good.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. And the meal was only $10.
Yes, $10.
Oh, wow. So, listen, a lot of times people think that they can't eat healthy on a budget. So I'm glad we're going to actually have you start bringing some tips and things of that nature in this segment. Because
I got some oranges today.
Listen, I'm not paying $20 for a salad and they're going to weigh it. And you know what I'm saying? So, and 9 times out of 10, that salad you get at Kroger's ain't healthy any damn way. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the focus behind the project. We're teaching people who go to the food pantries, like how to use that food, how to repurpose it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that's the agenda. The food you already have at home, like, let's make it good for you. Good last.
Man,
first, you know what I mean?
So let's do we have any bullet points? Let's start with the bullet points first.
So the bullet points, we're here to talk about life. Like I said, it's one bullet point. It's life. You got to start thinking about life every day. You got to start thinking about your habits, your choices, you know what I mean? Your diet. And like we say on the show, your diet is not just what you eat. It's what you watch. It's what you listen to. It's what you think about. It's who you talk to. You know what I mean? So let's start that today. I think sometimes in this day and age, it's easy to get overwhelmed. We're do-it-yourselfers.
Yeah,
on
absolutely.
YouTube, and now we're working on 10 projects before lunch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So the goal sometimes is just take some steps back. Like, you know what I mean? Like, lowest common denominator. Try to get to that self. Like, okay, today I just need to get up and take a shower. That's where we at. And find out where your bottom level is and start there. You know what I mean? Okay. A lot of times I think we're getting ahead of ourselves with healing and it's causing more harm to some people. So before you get to healing, evaluate where you are. So we coming into 2024, you know what I mean? What I believe is the new year starts in the spring equinox, but whatever you believe, that's fair. So today in 2024, take your time. You know what I mean? Right. Take your time in anything you're doing. Doesn't matter if you're a baker, a singer, or president, take your time. Pause. And my last philosophy is you're entitled to reset, restart, or realign as many times as you need to. Sometimes I do it 10 times a day. Don't let people think you have a limit on your healing.
Wally, can you do me a favor? Wally always has the keyboard out. So Wally, look up the word diet for me so we can really get an understanding of what this word is, because I have debated with a number of people about this word, because they are saying a diet isn't just what you eat. You know what I'm saying? Because anything that you intake, it's truly what you become. Anything that you intake as far as entertainment, anything that you intake as far as food and your surroundings in itself. A lot of times people think that their surroundings aren't harmful simply because, you know, they don't want to give up certain things, or they've been used to certain things for a very long time. So I kind of wanted her to get into that. I mean, and it ties into what Tim is saying as far as the restart is concerned, because a lot of people want to check in right now and tell me in the comments, can you guys, good morning, Benjamin. Good morning, Trinae. Good morning, Yaya, and all the people on the check-in. Good morning, Adrian, and on the check-in. You guys good?
Yeah, okay. We must have some technical. You know, the internet was going a little bit slow. Before I get into the definition, I do want to say that one of the things that I noticed about the word diet when I first started changing my eating habits was die. Yeah. The word die is actually in the word.
Absolutely.
And yeah, just I love words. I love learning about the words. So here we are, diet. The kinds of foods that a person, animal, or community eats. A special course of food to which one restricts oneself either to lose weight or medical reasons. And the last definition is to restrict oneself from small amounts of special kinds of foods in order to lose weight.
That's the programming, people.
Right. And which is why
so that's why we put this on the table.
That's what we're learning at school.
It's so narrow.
And so which is why I don't even call the way I eat a diet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't call it a diet. It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
This is, I choose to put these foods into my diet because I know they're healthy. I know what the benefits and what the definitions say that it would do for my body.
Right.
What it contains. So if I want something to change, whether it's skin or my hair, I can impact those things, not only how I think, but what I eat. So
absolutely.
Food is everything. Oh, look at that.
Food is life, people. Food
big
is
like
life.
Rick shirt on. That food shirt on, see, you know. And I literally said that though yesterday. I was explaining to them that we consume more than just food. You know, as humans, we eat a lot of things. We eat music, we eat television, we eat conversations. You know, we eat sleep. Attention, right. All these things that have an impact on us emotionally are something that our body is consuming.
Right.
The same way we do food. We take the nutrients from television and we spit out the bones, the things that are not good, or we consume it all. You know, we eat it all.
It's what people in the woke world call downloading. That's if you hear someone say downloading, that's what they're talking about. You're consuming.
Sure. So Tim, if that's the case, how do people begin a reset? Because let's talk about what you put on the table.
Yeah.
The reason why someone would do a reset, it's just like let's talk about the video game. We're playing a video game and the video game is not going well. You know what I'm saying? We know where we want to get to. We know the destination on Super Mario that we want to get to. But now things are overwhelming. You know what I'm saying? The Turtles is coming out. You know what I'm saying? Everything. So now we hit the reset. You know what I'm saying? So what are some of the things that we would want to reset for or from?
Yeah. Okay. So for me, how I handle it is I keep it simple. You know what I mean? I got some great advice when I was a young kid, and one of my coaches said, "Keep it simple, stupid." And I think about that. You know what I mean?
Kiss, yeah.
So for me, like with the video game, with the Nintendo, you gotta blow it. Like once I've tried something one way and it doesn't work, I have to try another way.
Okay.
Or I will go insane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because technically that's the definition of insanity. You're still trying the same thing, expecting different results.
Yeah.
So I take that literally.
Okay.
So I tried something new and I didn't know why at first. I was just doing it. It was unintentional. It's what people consider superstitious. You're doing magic, but you don't know. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So then I had to learn intentionally, okay, I'm doing multiple things to gain perspective. Because if I'm asking myself honestly, if I haven't experienced each dish, how can I know which one I like the best? How can I know which one's my favorite? How can I deem one the best?
Gotcha.
How can I deem one the most healthy? How can I say how it makes me feel if I haven't ate one and then gave it a week? If I haven't experimented with it, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I mean in the beginning by we have to do life. A lot of people consider themselves scientists in their field. I am a psychologist of life. Like I think about, my job is life. I don't clock in, I don't clock out. You dig? Like
right.
I'm always at work. So when we start to apply that to everything we're doing, we're realizing no one thing was meant to do once. You are supposed to do this more times than you can count, because then it gives you the type of experience, it gives you the type of perspective to where you don't want to judge it. You don't want to compare it. You don't want to manipulate it. You don't want to abuse it. So then we get all these cases like, why am I manipulating and abusing and comparing? It's because you haven't done it enough. You think you get it, but you don't.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? And to me, that stems from this programming to where we want to be done with things. We want to be finished with things. So things get hard. Oh, I'm done with this. I'm finished. So then you don't get to try all these times. So for me, I do things to completion. Completion means until every task is checked off, we're not done. We at 99.8.
Not finished.
You got one more thing you need to try before you can consider yourself done. You know what I mean?
But see, here's the thing, and this is for you guys at home. You know, when you start out that workout regimen, you know, that hurts.
Yeah.
And we don't like pain too much. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, your body and your muscles are now starting to get used to you being on a treadmill. You're starting to lift weights and you become sore, and it becomes harder the next day and the next day. But then, of course, after that week and a half or that 2 weeks or whatever, your body starts to get used to it. But people, they find it hard to push through that change. Yeah. That's with any change in life. You know what I'm saying? Do you realize that? Okay, just to kind of compare this to church.
Yeah.
When you would, you know, renew yourself at church, reset yourself at church. Do you know that anything that you were struggling with was there 10 times harder that week? So, you know what I'm saying? If you say, God, I'm going to quit smoking, you know, this week, the urge to smoke was that time, or God, I'm going to quit drinking this week, you know what I'm saying? Or I'm going to quit partying for about a month. Yeah. The urge to do these things, or guess what? I'm going to stop partying, but then all the parties are happening this week. You know? All the live
bike week.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I think I love that you brought that example up, because I think that fits into what I'm saying. We're overwhelmed. Everything I heard you say sounds like pressure. We're overwhelmed. You know what I mean? I can't get to a month without today. I gotta stop drinking today. I can't think about a month. 30 days, right? I ain't there yet. I gotta start small. You know what I mean? But I love that connection, because that's where I come in. This is where now people get disassociated with me when I'm trying to heal them. They think I'm trying to heal their ability to go to the gym. No, I'm healing your ability to stop disassociating pain with punishment, because you've been beat down. So when you think about pain, you think about that belt. You think about being told no. You think about being broken up with. You think about being left. That's not pain. Pain is a trigger. Pain is there to show us like life is happening. This ain't a fire drill. Them bells are going off because there's a fire somewhere.
Right.
And we need that. But when we associate that pain with, I don't want to do it. Now the bells is going off and we think it's a fire drill. We sleeping in and the house is burning down around us.
Right,
so I'm healing your ability to see pain as your friend. It's here to help you.
Okay.
Nothing that you will have inside you is there to hurt you unless you put it in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when we're not being accountable, we'll say, my body did this to me. No, it's something you ate. It's something you watched. It's that 2-hour conversation about gossip. You know what I mean? Why don't you think to blame those things? See, that's why I try a bunch of different things, because if I only tried one thing, I would blame that one thing. Since I have all this perspective, I assume it could be anything.
Oh, so that goes back to what she said. Diet.
Yeah.
Let's start saying lifestyle.
Exactly.
Oh,
because living, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Dying is apparent in healing when we're releasing things, when we're detaching. That's dying off from you.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you're not killing off that weight. You're killing off that disassociation that the gym is trying to hurt you because it's hard.
Right. Oh,
That because me as a therapist, I'm challenging you. I'm against you.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
That's programming. That's what I'm healing.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So then you can go to the gym if you want to. But after you're healed, if you don't want to go no more, there's no pressure. You don't have to.
Right. And that's kind of
okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Now
I'm not healing you to go to the gym. You might not want to go after therapy.
this is where the conversation starts. But go ahead, continue.
Because I not that I don't like the gym, but I'm a different type of beast, and I need to be pushed. Like I like the competition. I like to work out with people because it's like we pushing one another. I feed off the energy of you did 10 push-ups like in 5 seconds. Let me see if I can do it in 3. Yeah. And it's healthy competition. Not that I want to be better than them in a way. I'm pushing myself to see if I can do something I seen somebody else do, right? Seeing is believing. And so I don't live in the gym to stay this slim. Bars. I don't live in the gym to stay this slim, really. It's at the table. Okay. So what I put in front of me keeps me slim.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So I'm disciplined enough now that I've seen and I got in tune with my body. Once you get to know you, you'll know like, okay, well, I sat around for 30 days and I ate like this and now I done gained 10 pounds. Okay, so I got to change something. Either I can't eat like this and sit around for 30 days, or if I'm going to eat like this, I need to be doing something more active. Mm-hmm. Right. So now it's really no hard pressure on self if you maintaining your health goals. Because it's easier, like
realistic.
See, we're always on a different side of this table, and the reason
we really is literally
we really we're always on the opposite side of the table because, and this is where Tim can agree or not agree. But Tim is a basketball player. Yeah. For those who don't know, I'm a military person, but I also play, I wouldn't call it semi-pro. It was intramural basketball. So I've been through conditioning. I've been through having the coach. I've been through having the military sergeant and things of that nature. And there is a level that you can't quit, right?
Right.
I don't care how uncomfortable it is. So I don't want Tim to give you the interpretation that, okay, yeah, life is tough. It's going to get overwhelming. That doesn't give you the permission to say, okay, I'm not going to do it this week. It might just be overwhelming. But I'm sitting on the other side of the table that says, I don't think you should give yourself permission to say, you know what, not this week. Let me do it next week. I think you should push through. You know what I'm saying?
You know I was going to disagree. I knew.
This is where the conversation starts.
You know I was going to disagree.
Absolutely. Let's go.
So that's what I mean by we can't examine the month. We got to look at the week. By me saying don't do it this week is not saying don't do it ever again.
Right.
It's saying review what you really want to do, because when you came to me to do this, you were reacting. I could see the trauma. I could see how you were reacting.
Sure.
So now that you're healed, you're trying to go down the same path from when you weren't healed.
Pushing through.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So take some time to reevaluate, reset, realign, figure out where you want to go. So that may be a gym, but I bet it won't be that same gym because you were going to that gym for a specific reason. See, that's the culture I like to live in. You know what I mean? I like to watch competitive cooking shows. I love Hell's Kitchen. So Gordon Ramsay's not saying you can't cook. He's saying you can't cook in here because we cook it here at a certain pace. We have a certain standard. So if you can't do it, sure. I can't be your friend and make you feel good about it, or I can just tell you the truth that you can't cook in here.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And a lot of time when people are, before they go to therapy, it's their ego saying, I could do that. I could. You were talking from ego. So now what I'm saying is talk to yourself without the ego now.
Okay.
And if it leads you back to the gym, great. But if it doesn't, again, remember, there's no pressure for you to go in the first place.
Right.
Oh, okay. No, I'm saying, I see what you're saying.
We become our own worst enemy those ways. So I'm just trying to get you out of your way.
So if the path leads you to that consistent disciplined schedule and it's not overwhelming you to where, it's really not conducive to your mental, physical, and whatever, then give yourself that permission to, okay, let me get back. Let me put a pin in this. Let me reset and get back to it. But if I can do the Kobe, if I can do the Mamba schedule, then let life take me down that road.
You might be Kobe Bryant. You see what I'm saying? You don't got to deny it. People are calling you that in public. You know what I mean? But that's where we have to look at everything together too. That's where two things can be true. That's when you look at the whole month, you got to look at it all as 30 days. That's where you got to realize that same mentality you can apply to everything. That's what they meant when they say, when you free the bird, if it comes back, it's meant to be. But if you keep it in that cage, you're going to be stressing. Like, man, am I keeping it hostage? Is nature mad at me? Is it raining? Is God it's pressure. But when you let that bird go and you just let life do its course, That bird may go get married and have a family. What if you knew that? Would you think differently about having it in that cage? That's what I mean by take that week to reset and rethink about what's happening. And don't be so in a rush to go to the gym. What you going to the gym for? Oh, I don't know. So why are you in a rush to get there?
Right. I see people posting, I literally see people posting videos all the time. It's 4:00 in the morning.
Yeah, like you don't want to be
there. I don't really want to go, but I'm forcing myself to go into the gym. I should be at home resting. Well, then go rest. Listen to your body. Because at the end of the day, the battle is not, again, the gym. The battle is in here.
Mm-hmm.
And what society is, what you've allowed society to tell you, what you believe in. So when you look in the mirror, if you're having a conversation with yourself, if you're telling yourself things that people have said, now you got to go back and tell yourself what you think about you. And this is not to say, hey, be lazy.
Yeah.
Right? The lazy mindset.
I was about to say.
The lazy mindset wouldn't even have a conversation about the gym.
Yeah.
Why are we talking about the gym?
But you don't.
Okay, so let's do this, Tim. Before I'm sorry, Tim. So Angie, I wanted you to come. Yeah, I want everybody to see. This is our new director right here. You got to come on this side of the camera, Angie.
In the camera?
Yeah, absolutely. I want. So one of the absolutely, we are live, and Angie's our new director, and she allows us to do this each and every single Friday. So I wanted you to know who's the new person in charge here at the school, and I'm telling you, everything is here. We got radio, we got television, we got video editing, all that good stuff. So,
and we have the best instructors in team.
Hey.
Because they're the pros.
Absolutely. But thank you so much for allowing us to do this. Of course, it brings the community in. This is Tim, and I'll do all the formal introductions after the show. Absolutely. But I just wanted everybody to see Angie, the new boss.
That's right.
Because Angie's the lady that pays, man.
No boss.
Now,
just the leader of the team.
The leader of the pack. I know that's right. And I just said that before the show, didn't I? So Walli.
Yes.
If I smoke crack, right, and I'm in rehab, and the feeling of crack is overwhelming me, do I have permission to smoke crack again?
Listen, you're your own author of your own body.
Okay.
So you again, that's why all of these things that we do even outside of food, every single thing that we do is going to impact our judgment, our own scale.
Okay.
We have to balance. We have to check and balance within self. You know what I'm saying? So I think that a person there's worse things than crack is what I've been told by a crackhead.
Yeah.
So not
really?
Not approving you. I mean, I wouldn't know. What a crackhead said from himself, literally in the backseat of one of my Uber rides, he was like, "Man, I'm a crackhead. I take care of myself." He was like basically trying to put the pressure on me to accept him in the community. And I'm like, listen, I don't care what you do. I'm doing a job in the service, but listening to him, he was really like, there's far more worse things than crack. Like people look at me like a certain way. I work my job. I pay this and that and the other, but I do crack. And he was open. But that's not something that
It's functional. Yeah.
I feel like back in the day, even when I was a child, there were certain people that used certain things or was homeless or lived a certain type of way. And they were in where they were, and you couldn't tell them no different.
Right.
They weren't ashamed of where life had taken them, where their journey was at that moment of your introduction. So I think that it's so many conversations that we have within our mind. Like I say, we got society leading this here. It's not our own conversations that say, hey, you're overweight, or hey, you're this and that and the other. The first time we had these feelings was from the people that are being our mirror, right? That's seeing us, that's making like you said, when you get around people on holidays, you like you gained weight, or hey, what happened to this? Or I thought you, so the pressure, right? Are you eating enough? So if you're too skinny, right? Let's not even talk about that, because I was on the other scale growing up where I was not skinny enough to fit. I was not big enough to fit in my family. My family were all thick, and I was the only one skinny. So I got talked about all the time. Like, look at you weigh, look at your bones. I can see your bones, and that affected me the same way it would be calling the person fat. Right. So the pressure to gain weight was on me. So I'm like, I need to eat and I need to do all these things so I can thicken up my skin and that and the other, the pressure. But again, once I got
do that in an unhealthy way.
Right. Once I got to a certain point of where I couldn't control what was coming on and getting it off as fast as I needed to, then I had to look in the mirror. And I pressured myself to go to the gym with my brother-in-law at like 4:30 in the morning. For an hour and a half, I would be at the gym with him. And he was insane, first of all. And in 30 days of doing this 3 days a week, I lost like 1 pound. And, you know, he's like, but you got muscle. And it didn't feel good to me. Like, why am I stressing myself? This is somebody else's walk. This is not for me. Not saying that I don't like the gym, but I had to be true to what I appreciate about going to work out.
Yeah.
And if there is a different path for me to be able to lean my body, let me find that, because not saying that I don't like the gym. I'm motivated in the gym in a different way now that I know that about myself. So again, I turned to food. And once I saw that the amount of food that I put in my mouth and types of food was helping me lose weight, that was my baby. I was like, okay, well, let me just stick here, because I'm losing weight faster by what I actually eating healthier than stressing myself out about being in the gym. And again, you have to tap into yourself or have a conversation with yourself. Yeah. I was allowing other people to pressure me to go to the gym.
Right. So it's more auto suggestion, and I know he's been waiting to jump in for me.
We're gonna wrap him up.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. So the thing is, I know that discipline equals results, right? Mm-hmm. So, but you're just saying that because I just want people to understand this concept that yes, you can take a break. Yes, you don't have to overwhelm yourself, but there also has to be affirmation, and I can get through this. You know what I'm saying? Because there's that person that always says every year, I'm going to lose weight. Or I'm going to stop drinking, or I'm going to stop smoking. You know what I'm saying? And they give themselves way, like me. I give myself way too many breaks when I get that donut, when I get that piece of cake. I give myself way too much leniency.
But this is the thing that I'm working on when I work on therapy. This is the thing I'm healing. Like, this is what I meant at the beginning. Like, it's overwhelming because of all of these expectations that we set on ourselves. Mm-hmm. And I know, because I lived a different way. Like, I don't know my weight. I haven't known my weight probably since last time I went to the doctor. And I can't even tell you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't care about things like that. So when we need to be 215, like that's going to send you down a whole path. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that comes with a lot of other things that you're not realizing. That's the problem. That you have expectations.
Let me tell you something. Can I tell you something before Walli jumps in?
I have zero expectations.
I do remember getting down to 210. And I do remember me being proud of myself for achieving that, right? And so I rewarded myself. With some roosters. And so 2-3 days later, I get on the scale, it says 215. I panic. Yeah. But guess what I do? I eat more. Yeah. Instead of eating less, I'm in a frenzy and I have all this anxiety. So now I need the comfort food. And now that 215 goes up to 220.
That's the program.
Okay, look, right. I was about to say, this is why when you're starting on this journey, if it's weight or if it's quitting cigarettes or drinking, you got to identify what your issue is with this thing. Yeah. Like if food wasn't my only thing that brought me to a higher weight, right? I had pregnancies back to back where like almost every year I was pregnant. So that brought me to a higher weight. Yeah. Also, it wasn't only the pregnancies alone. Again, it was my association with food. So once I learned my relationship with food and the foods that was like, okay, we're going to hold you down at this higher weight, right, then it was up to me to make that change. So it took me a minute to understand my relationship with food and how it was impacting my body. But I think when people are trying to quit anything, when you're trying to quit anything, you got to understand how you allowed it in your life. Why do you entertain if it's crack, if it's drinking, if it's smoking? How did you start entertaining it? My grandmother quit smoking cigarettes. Like, she used to buy them and put them in the freezer, like the cartons and put them in the freezer so that they would not stale. And I remember hiding them. I remember throwing them away, flushing them in the toilet, trying to get her. Because, back then they was really hard on, telling children and families not to smoke cigarettes. Like it was all in your face.
Yeah.
And so, but she just up and quit one day. And when I asked her, when I probably was like 9 or 10, but when I got older and we had the conversation, why she started, she said, because all of the ads said that you were going to be beautiful if you smoked these cigarettes. The ads were beautiful women with these men. So
like they having fun.
Right. And they attracting these amazing men. So in the commercials, they would always have beautiful women holding a cigarette.
So it was a suggestion. It didn't necessarily say.
Right. No. It was a suggestion that you were beautiful if you smoked cigarettes. Cool. Like you were classy. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. And you can get this fine man that's coming along. He will be attracted to you.
So they knew what they were doing.
So my grandmother shared that with me. That's why she started smoking at a young age, because she had this idea that she was beautiful. It made her beautiful. But when she realized it did not make her beautiful, she said it was easy to just stop and quit. And she just threw them all out. She was probably about 45. Threw them all out.
That's why there's a me and a Walli, though. That's why even in the weeks where I tell people not to do things, it's not of laziness, because you might need to go talk to her, because your relationship with food is layered. And most of our worst relationships is with food. That's the point of fasting. Everything we do in the spiritual world is intentional. None of it's for gimmick or show, or you dig what I'm saying? Like, it's a reason someone's doing that. Yeah. It's a reason someone's meditating. It's a reason people come from war and meditate. It works. You know what I mean? But it's not the only work you have to do. See, that's where things get hard, is when someone tells you, like, okay, yeah, you got to do this, and it's going to be 3 things tomorrow, and then next week it's going to be 5, and you get overwhelmed. Sound like my job. But as long as you do today, you just got to get today. You got to do today. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you got to keep that mindset, because this is why we're building the village. Because I'm going to help you understand your association with that pain, that fear, the unknown. Walli's going to help you understand your relationship with the food. How you beefing with the food, y'all don't have a good relationship, so it's not going to work for you. You know what I mean? Intentions aren't going to work for you when you have bad intentions. So this is what we're saying. Life is about moderation. It's not about just cold turkey not doing anything. It's about knowing your KYP. Know yourself enough to know your limits. And care about yourself enough not to keep hitting those limits. You get what I'm saying? But mostly it's about awareness. The reason me as the youngest, I was able to excel and exceed so fast is because I paid attention to my brother and sister. So to where they had to get all these lumps, I knew to duck. That was the only difference. I was no smarter. I was no more cunning. That was the only difference. So what we have to ask ourselves is what was happening around that cigarette time. People were suggestive. Most people were religious at that time. So they were already suggestive. So you see how all these things are working together. So yeah, one person can look at church and say, oh, that's not so bad. But then when you look at the school board, then when you look at the prison system, then you look at people still living in food deserts. In 2024, they're shipping food from India to here, and we have neighborhoods that don't have fresh food. How? And I can get a coconut. How? That doesn't compute. So that means all of these things are working together. That's duality. As me and Walli are coming together, so the forces that be are all working together against you.
So in your household, as you were coming up, did you have balanced meals?
No.
You did?
No, absolutely not. We have something she talked about in her cooking class. We didn't know, because healthy food in the Black community was large.
That's what I'm saying. This is the point I'm getting to. Right.
That's insane.
Right.
So no, I didn't have a balanced meal. A balanced meal is fruit, veggies, and then the food on the meat on the other side. This is the programming. They changed the pyramid upside down. You should have all the stuff we're supposed to need, just a little bit of it, and then get a lot of meat and milk and dairy. No. So I didn't have that. You know what I mean? I had, if I was hungry, I could go to the corner store and get some chips. That's the worst diet that you can have.
Absolutely.
Especially as a kid. I'm a growing child.
Right.
You know what I mean? I didn't know how to cook a vegetable. I didn't like broccoli. The fact that I can say things like that, these foods are not around me, and they're not being presented in a healthy manner.
So that's exactly what I was getting. So you eventually had to run into this type of lifestyle because, again, we're all from the hood, and we don't have grocery stores. We have corner stores. So therefore, like you said, when we get our little $5, we're not buying fruit. We're buying the Hostess. We're buying the candy. We're buying the soda. Right. So this grows up into what tastes good.
Right,
you know
but
what I'm saying?
Cheaper. If I go to the corner store as a child with $1, it's my meal ticket. We used to call those meal tickets. If I got $1, it was a meal ticket. I can get a soda, chips,
But the penny candies too.
And candy, all for $1. Like it was a meal. It was like in our mind a meal ticket. Like you need the cakes with the chips and the soda. Yeah. That's the whole meal.
Not only that, I get what you're saying, but the endorphins that hit. Yeah. So I've seen a doctor say it. The endorphins that you get from sugar is the same, almost equivalent from cocaine. You know what I'm saying?
Sugar is more addictive than crack.
So I'm a 30-year addict. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? This is what we're not coming to terms with. You know what I'm saying?
And it's because it's layered. It's because then it's not even just a mental problem. It's not just a food problem. It's a spiritual problem too. Ooh. So when I learned healthy food, it was no better. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because then I learned healthy food at a white college and a white institution that was teaching me about my heritage.
Right.
So on a psychological level, that hurt me well worse than the food did. When I realized that's what was happening. Because when I came back to my people, I wanted to celebrate them, but I'm like, man, all I can see them as is you didn't teach me anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're telling me to be against someone, but they gave me the answers and you gave me nothing.
Yeah.
But we got gold chains and we got rims and we got liquor and we got cigarettes.
You know the sad part about it is anytime that I do a strict diet, what do I get? The withdrawal symptoms.
Yeah.
Nausea. Mm-hmm. The shakes.
Because you have to
because the same things that you
right, but you have to get like it's a process. So if you're just like coming off of cocaine, you can't just cold turkey quit. They have to help you wean you off because your nervous system, your body is now first of all, this creation is so powerful. They call us little computers, the original computer. So if y'all think about the highest tech computer that's on the market today or that's going to be created in the future, we're still going to be better than that piece of equipment. Meaning that there's so many crooks and crannies that we just don't know about, right? There's so many things to the human body that we don't know because they teach it to you in a way where they have so much control over how you think about yourself, right? And how you operate within your body. And I was going somewhere with this, but I lost track because
because we have to put a bookmark in the withdrawals.
And that's where we're going to end it. And that's what the withdrawals are. Like, to me, first, it's a mental battle. You have to believe that you're not this type of person. This is where I say from the release that you have to release that version of yourself you created to survive, which you had to do to get out the mud. You know what I mean? You got to forgive yourself for that because you got to realize we're survivalists. We're going to do what it takes to survive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Claw, scratching, biting, you know what I mean? So if that's what you got to do to get out of your addiction, you have to first come to terms. I may have to be a version of myself that's not appealing to me, but I have to accept if I want to get out of this hole, I have to become the beast. And afterwards, I can't be afraid that the beast's going to pop out again. So then the only thing you can do is you got to meditate. You got to befriend the beast. You got to get to know him. You got to understand why he comes out. Why do you have no control? That is getting to know yourself. So through the healing process, you're going to get to know yourself. Right. And you're going to realize there's nothing in the darkness but unknown parts of yourself that you haven't discovered yet. There's nothing to fear, though. The beast is not a monster. You know what I mean? Like, pay attention to any movie. Usually who you think is the bad guy in the beginning is not the bad guy in the end. That's the programming.
So when the beast, as you say, or as we would interpret as a weak moment on your journey, where you want to revert back to your old self, you're saying let it happen?
No, I'm saying you have to trust yourself. That's what I'm saying. So if you don't trust yourself that it won't happen, don't put yourself in situations where it'll happen. Because then you don't know yourself.
Okay, gotcha.
It's hard to say you know yourself, but you keep getting in your own way.
Okay.
So
and that's what I wanted to be clear about.
That's the things where I say two things can't be true.
Right.
We can't have it both ways. Right. You know what I mean? If we want to be healed, we got to walk as a healed person. So if you want to still stumble,
that's what I want to do.
Yeah, if you want to still take the opportunity to stumble, that's fair. Just don't be running around saying you healed, because then Cat Williams gonna make a podcast about you. That's the pin.
Yeah.
Cat Williams ain't mad. It's just stop saying you things you ain't when I'm actually that thing that you're trying to say you are.
Wow.
And I don't give myself a choice not to be that thing or not. So I can't always sympathize when someone's like, humans make mistakes. Yeah, sure. But humans also grow. Humans also evolve. He must also learn. He must also love. When we gonna do those things?
Right.
You know what I mean? We've done the mistakes. I made plenty. I was 3. I made plenty. So when do I not make mistakes? You know what I mean? And we've talked about that for the people at home. You can't focus on not making mistakes. You focus on getting it right. You know what I mean? You do it wrong enough to where you learn how to not do it wrong anymore. That's healed. So if you still got to think, maybe I can do it wrong, guess what, young buck? You got some work to do. You can't be lazy today. You got work to do. You got some healing to do.
Sometimes when it comes to me and Tim, sometimes it does this, but then somewhere along the show we end up, you know what I'm saying?
And it has to do that, because what I do is, that's why I don't call what I do is like a doctor's work. And I love doctors, but I consider I'm a healer. You know what I mean? And we need both, but they're different. Yeah. And I'm showing people that the power has inside. A lot of times they go to the doctor because they can fix what's going on with you. Right. I'm showing you that it's within you the whole time. And a lot of my people, I've messed with, are doctors. So maybe that's who I talk to, and then they talk to everyone else. It's always layers. So we got to stop thinking I need one or the other. We need both.
Well, see, that's the thing. You know what I mean? The difference between Tim and I is, see, neither Tim or I sugarcoat anything. But I'm not going to say it in a way that makes you feel good at all. You know what I'm saying? Tim has a way of registering who his audience is, and if it's needed for this particular delivery, then that's fine. Me, I just don't have that. You know what I'm saying? So this is why when we talk to the audience, I'm like, man, push through that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's what I mean by, like, sometimes that goes against my message of what people think I do. Because when I say I'm a healer, they think I'm waving a magic wand.
Gotcha.
So when someone says push through, that's what you're healed. So exactly, I'm showing them through life exactly how this conversation goes. It's all over the place, and we all get to the end. Yeah. Welcome to life. Welcome. That's how healing is. Yeah. It is not waving a wand and everything's okay. It is going to be a journey. Yeah. That's why I have family. That's why I coddle those people like me. That's because they're special. Yeah. And if I treat everyone the same, can I really call it special? Right. You know what I mean? So now I'm just communicating to them on certain levels, because they're the ones there when my kids are sick. They're the ones there when I have no food and I got to hit them for money. They're the ones there when I don't want to get out of bed and they're like, what podcast are we going to watch today? Right. So I have to give that to them on a higher level. You know what I mean? And two, because times I realize I don't do it enough. Right. So I think when we get in that opportunity of realizing everything can be an opportunity, we think differently about what we're doing. You know what I mean? Right. And what we're saying. And sometimes we're only talking to one person.
It's so funny that you say that, because I was friends with a person who, you know, dealt with people with special needs and behavioral stuff. And so, you know, I would hear the way she would talk to kids, and I'd just be like, sit your blah, blah, blah down, and this, that, and the other. And I'd be like, they got special needs. Like, she was like, I don't talk to them no different. Yeah. They know what I'm saying. And they do. Like anybody else, they'll try them. But she come in the room, everybody straight, you know what I'm saying, understand. Yeah. So it's like that whole communication thing is like, when you understand the room, again, going back to you, sometimes I have trouble understanding the room. So, but then a lot of times, I'll give this person way too much grace. You know what I'm saying? As a person who understands, like, you don't need this at this time. I need you to get from here to here. So again, going back to that teacher, I'm not giving this person an out to say, okay, they have autism or they have it. Right. Sit down. I need the class quiet.
Because that's the programming. Yeah, the programming is not because I have autism. My son has autism. The programming is not the autism. The programming is they got you thinking you're handicapped. With my autism, I think I can do anything.
That's what she said too.
You know what I'm saying? So when I see other autistic kids, I come at them like that because people was hard on me as a kid. Because kids can notice that you're different. They notice you hold the pencil different. They notice you walk different. They notice.
What is autism?
You know what I mean? It's a spectrum. It's a bunch of different things, but essentially it just means essentially it's kind of how they tell you someone that's lactose is the deformity. But actually being lactose is natural. The fact that we can drink milk is a deformity. Right. So autism is kind of considered natural. People are supposed to be like that, kind of detached in their self, in their head, analyzing the universe, thinking about death, thinking about life, not wanting to take life, protecting life. That's what it is. And you can't box us in. You can't take. So Jesus wouldn't make sense to somebody like me. Okay. And they think I'm pushing back on them, but Jesus just doesn't make sense to someone like me.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
And
that's how I'm wired. That I
right. And when it first came out, it was a smaller spectrum. Now it's more broader because they had so many different people that fall into these categories, and they're all different. Which meaning that literally we probably all got a little bit of everything, and I think that is.
Because autism's the cocktail. It's basically like dyslexic, which I have. You know what I mean? I mixed my numbers and letters up when I was younger. I learned not to do that, reinforcement. But it's dyslexia, it's ADD, what they call ADD, ADHD. But again, those are natural things. At 10, I don't know how to sit down. I'm 10.
Right.
But when someone convinces you something's wrong with you, you get WebMD. Right. You get people searching for symptoms. And like she said, supercomputer. So if you think it hard enough, your body will start producing that.
See what we just did there? Because
you
again,
what you're afraid of.
There are healthy big people. We shame so much, and this is what I'm getting to. We fear what we don't understand, and we try to put our own interpretations on what we don't understand. Like you got big people that are healthy walking around here, ashamed of themselves, and they eat regular. It's just their body structure and things of that nature. They eat.
Can I edit that?
No,
I agree with what you're saying. I would say there's big people who are confident. I wouldn't say healthy.
Is everybody supposed to be skinny?
But healthy's not skinny though.
Okay.
Healthy means you put what's best in your body consistently. That's your lifestyle.
That's really how you feel.
And that wasn't pertaining to me, by the
way. Yeah, no. I'm not saying you're going to die today.
It's not a defensive type of thing.
I'm not saying
I know what
I die today. Right. Again, that's what I mean by if everyone can do it, it's not special. Healthy is something specific. Healthy is someone who only puts what their body needs inside their body. You know what I mean? That's what healthy means. You're giving your body the best. Your body is going to conform to that thing that you're putting in your body. Well, no, that means that you line up 10 people, they'll all be at different weights. That's why there's people who eat meat who are skinnier than people who don't eat meat. Okay. So I'm not saying skinny's healthy.
It's a big vegans walking around.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not saying skinny's healthy. You know what I mean? Okay. What I'm saying is I don't calculate weight because our weight is just an immaculation of our life. Like she said, when I had kids, I was bigger because I'm eating more, I'm stressing more, I'm thinking more. You know what I mean? Like when I was in sports, I was smaller. Right, I'm working out more. I'm eating less. It depends on how you're living. You really got
to get to know the food, how food does to your body, right? Because my last pregnancy, because I was vegan, plant-based diet during that pregnancy, I didn't get as big as the other ones, and I slimmed back down like that. Like people didn't even know that I was pregnant, and it wasn't an unhealthy pregnancy. It was like literally the best pregnancy that I had out of all 5. But again, you have to be able to know how food is going to respond to your body. And what I mean by that, you're the only person that's knowing what you're sticking in your mouth. Right. And it's not only what we consume as far as food that makes us bigger. You know, gossip, TV, music, all of these things are impacting the way your body feels and is responding. Like you talk about endorphins, it's all shaping our body. Right. So yeah, we should probably bring in Dr.
Because the way, and we about to bring him in, and that's the pen we're gonna put in it.
Can I ask her one question?
Go ahead.
So, and if you can tie this in him, how do we know what we're allergic to? Because a lot of times, like you said, going back to the lactose, going back to
you know what I was saying too.
Thank you. Because you know, like you said, somebody could eat meat, but somebody doesn't even know that they're allergic to meat. But because mom fed them pork all this time, mom fed them beef all this time, it's programmed in them that says, you know what I'm saying, hey, I can still eat it, but this is what is causing the swelling.
I'm gonna let you go. That was a really good question.
Boot this person out of the room. This chance person. Who is this?
No clue.
Okay.
But I'm gonna start it, and then she, you know what I mean, and then she's gonna go. So what I learned in nutrition that I didn't know, because this is the program. You get so comfortable doing something, you stop questioning. What I didn't know is having cramps in the morning was not natural. You know what I mean? So a lot of times we're associating our weight with if we're healthy or not. You got to look at how your body is reacting. So again, how often you use the bathroom? You should be taking a bowel movement at least once a day, depending on your diet. So if these things aren't happening, you don't have a healthy diet. You're not living a healthy lifestyle. Again, it's not the end of the world, but you can't always look at your weight and see that. So when I went to that doctor, I'm like, why am I having cramp? If it's not normal, they're like, you're eating too late. So your body is trying to digest that food while you're trying to sleep. When you're asleep, your body's working on that sore ankle. It's working on your ear. It's, you know what I mean? So if it's trying to digest your food, it's all backed up. Remember, it's a computer. So take that best computer in the world and now put a virus on it and look at how it works. That's what's happening. So how we identify this is the side effects. Are you tired all the time? Are you drowsy? Sore ankles, stuff like that.
As you're eating, you have to just clock afterwards. Like, I didn't know, it wasn't really strawberries, it was yogurt. I was eating yogurt and I was having symptoms of eczema. I wasn't born with it, but after my first pregnancy, I got epidural, which I kind of tied it together because that was the only injection that I had in my body. Sure. But after I would eat high volumes of yogurt, I just like to sit and eat yogurt back to back, I start itching on my elbows and certain places. It just started itching. How did I know I was allergic to something that was in there? Because I was paying attention to how it was affecting your body. You can feel it. Yeah. And even for people who are dealing with eczema, they give you a steroid. This is the placebo effect. They want to freeze that area instead of inflaming on the inside. They want to freeze it in that spot. It's not healing it, right? Your child or you are having a response to the dairy. The dairy goes in and it's inflaming. It's an inflammation on the inside of the body. It causes you to itch on the outside. It causes your skin to raise. The steroid does nothing but just freezes it in place. So again, you can tell what you're allergic to in that case by exactly right after you eat it. If you're having a reaction at itching or you're feeling burning and tingling, the thing that you ate is probably not agreeing with your body.
Wow. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, so I was privileged. Yes, I was privileged to connect with someone before I went to Ghana, and even in Ghana, they connected me more. And when I came back, they connected me some more. So there is a Black History Festival team that I was a part of and got pulled on to be on their media team and helping them get everything together. There's a festival coming up here in Columbus, Ohio, February 22nd through the 24th. It's a Black History Festival. And Dr. Churi is part of that team. He's the head in it here. And I thought it would be great for him to come on and share his insight, not only on the show, but also for the conference that's coming up, and give us more insight about how we could participate, what's going on with it, and all of those things.
Dr. Churi's in the building.
Hey. Thank you. Most patient man in the world.
Exactly.
Thank you, Alicia. Thank you, Rush. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Just call me Layne. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Layne, and thank you, our cameraman. So, wow, that was a very interesting discussion. I was privileged to listen. You know, all the things that you talked about. Yeah. They mean a lot to our community.
Wow.
And especially, you know, talking about diet, talking about lifestyle, talking about, you know, restarting, regenerating.
Yes.
That's what life is about.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Life is not just linear. It has its ups and downs. And when you're down, you know what can bring you up. When you're up, you know what can bring you down. That's how you navigate life.
Yeah.
And so thank you for even giving that kind of perspective.
Absolutely.
That, you know, you can still treat yourself. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Treat yourself. Be able to heal yourself.
Absolutely.
The things that you're doing. Huh? You're capable.
How do you, when you're on that path, you know, how do you monitor your reactions to things, whether, like she said, whether it's just something, you know, edible that you're eating and it doesn't agree with you, you know, or whether it's a person, you know what I'm saying, that's in your life and you're just like, listen, I know that you're in my life, but we're at this conflict right now. How do you deal with conflict?
Yeah, as you know, there's no one way to deal with conflicts.
Okay.
But I think the perspective is that sometimes you try very much to ensure that whatever that is causing you conflict, you try to either avoid it or minimize its effect on you.
Sure.
And as you always, you know, we talked about food, and you can get food from various sources.
Mm-hmm.
What you eat, what you breathe, what you watch, what you come in contact with, all can be considered food, depending on how it's coming to you. And if you have a conflict in one of those things, the best way is to either minimize its impact to you by not watching too much TV, by not listening to certain music, or by not eating certain food that can bring conflict. We know people who, as you said, they are skinny, but they eat a lot. So maybe that is their condition that restricts them to that. But again, to come back to your question, conflict, there's no way to really deal with conflict. You try to make sure that you avoid what is causing conflict in you.
I like that word that you use, condition, because when you say condition, people don't know they're sick. It's just like, if I'm not drowning, then I'm going to keep doing the things that I'm going to keep doing. You know what I'm saying? So unless the thing that stops them and provokes change is a heart attack, is a disease, or just something that is like, okay, now my body can't take it no more. It is now saying, I'm giving you something to slow down. Or basically, you've done this lifestyle for so long. Now I'm giving you something that you can't get rid of. How do we get from getting to that point? Because again, if I don't know that I'm sick, I'm going to keep doing the same thing. So how do we get from that point or prevent that?
Yeah, I guess the way I can answer that is by saying life is like a road where there's a stop sign and there's the green, the amber, the red.
Talk about it. Yeah, talk about it.
And the people who go through those red lights, they go through them without even watching what the signs are. So when you get a pain somewhere in your body, it is telling you something. It's giving you a yellow amber. The pain is telling you something is coming.
Yes.
You better do something.
Nice.
So that condition that you're in is giving you a certain response. Don't go through this light. It's yellow. So you got to stop.
Right.
So that pain is telling you stop. So start doing something so that you change that condition.
So they're ignoring the signs.
Yes.
And that's the disease is the result.
And that's what the medicine does, right? And that's why we cling to diagnosis. That's why we cling to doctors, because the doctors will give us a diagnosis. It makes us feel better about where we are. We don't have to change anything because the doctor said it's this, and he's going to give me this medicine, so I can continue to eat, sleep, drink, and watch whatever I want to watch as long as I take this little yellow pill.
Right. So that's why we come in to help you, because if you're at that point, you're in a position of reactment. And being healthy means you're proactive. You know what I mean? The best medicine to me is preventative medicine. So we got to learn to do the right thing before potentially it causes cancer. Because that's a reaction. That cancer didn't start yesterday. You've been living, then you hit equal. Right. That's why I live intentionally, because when I hit equal, I want to like that result. And the only way I'm going to know I like it is if I'm the one creating the equation. And if I've done equations before, and sometimes I hit equal and I'm like, I don't like that. Back to the drawing board. All right,
Y'all better preach this morning.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because that goes back to the accountability. People don't want to look at that accountability like, I'm the one who has to change. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's going to not put this plate of pancakes in front of me. I did this, you know what I'm saying? And that's hard for people to really grasp that concept. I put this candy bar in my hand. I physically went to the store and bought this. But again, going back to what Tim said, because you're so auto-programmed now, I have literally seen something on my desk or on my dinner table, and I'm like, man, I said I was going to do this, but I still haven't programmed myself to say, okay, I need some greens on this plate. I need some grains on this plate. But no, you know what I'm saying? What I find on my plate is a Big Mac.
In these spaces, it's better to just have like control over the portions. One of the great things to know about the body that they don't really teach is that your stomach is the size of your palm.
Ooh.
So imagine fitting 3 plates or 2 plates of whatever in
a Chipotle bowl.
10 minutes.
A Chipotle bowl.
That was the first sign of me gaining weight, is because I went, this was years ago, their bowls is like 1,300 calories, one bowl. So I started breaking it up. Once I found that, I would break it up and I would automatically put half of it into a container.
Turn your. I gotta go out for a second
All right.
because I got a phone call. Turn your speaker up so that way they can hear.
People together, communities together, brings people of African descent together. As you perhaps know, there are a lot of Africans out of Africa in different parts of the world.
Sure.
We just learned the other day that there are 110 million Africans in Brazil.
Wow.
Wow.
That's amazing.
There are almost over 100 million in India, in Far East. And so this festival is about bringing people of African descent together to celebrate our achievements in various areas. You know, Black people have achieved a lot.
Yes, we have.
And it's still not been appreciated a lot. That they have
Come on,
so
somebody.
so many heroes.
Yeah.
That are both using traditional and
holistic
ways of healing people. So we want to have 3 days of celebration during the Black History Month.
Nice.
Next month. And we have put a lot of things on the menu, a lot of diets. You know, people from education community, people from the technology community, people from the business community. Coming together to celebrate our culture.
I love that.
Yes.
I mean, and the reason being is that we have to go back to this awareness because, you know, and I know Shane's in the room, but still, we have adopted a lot of European, you know, saying traditions and cuisine and stuff like that. A lot of cheeses and stuff like that. That I don't really know true African cuisine like I should. But I mean, do Africans eat a lot of cheese and all this stuff like that and breads and stuff?
No, not really. Africans eat mostly staple foods of corn and rice, and there's a little bit of wheat in things like chapati. You know, things like that. But Africans also have their own kind of cuisine.
Absolutely.
I know you have heard of jollof rice.
I love some jollof rice. Some peanut butter soup. Come on.
A lot of cheese. But of course, they drink dairy products and all that. You know.
Okay.
So this festival will showcase some African cuisines.
Nice.
And I think this is a tradition that also we're creating as into breaking certain traditions because the traditions aren't always the issue. Sometimes the people develop fear, and then fear is a game of telephone. Every time you pass that message, it's changing. Because people don't even realize things like the Illuminati. Like people, they were coming together in the beginning to get the best of each profession in the village. So you want the best scholar, you want the best poet, you want the best doctor, you want the best chef, and it's because they all have different perspectives on how the village can grow. But the issue is we're adopting this society. We're so afraid of all of those people being in council. We're giving all our trust to one person and letting them decide for everybody against different cultures and different professions. And they're not even good at their profession. You know what I mean?
Right.
So what I'm trying to establish is showing back is we need community. The way how we're doing this man versus women thing, and we think being alone or being in family is an option. I am trying to adopt. We need a village. It's not optional.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Yeah. That's what we're working towards. Everyone has a skill. So let's adopt those skills. And let's not glorify the best basketball player and glorify the best clothes maker. Let's glorify the teachers and the nurses And the bus drivers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
They're staples too. So I feel like when I come to these celebrations, I love them because everyone's getting celebrated.
Absolutely. And that's what it's all about, bringing our people together so that we celebrate. So we'll have these 3 days where we'll have the first day will be devoted for the youth, because we believe the youth are the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
So we must bring them into conversation, both the youth in Africa and the youth in the Americas, and the youth in the diaspora, because we have all those three constituents.
I want to echo what Tim said. I mean, because, you know, that does echo in our community that all African Americans have in sports and entertainment.
Yeah.
And, you know, Jay-Z said that best in one of his first songs. And although it's an accomplishment and achievement, you know what I'm saying, I would like more of our other heroes, our medical heroes to be recognized, our activist heroes to be recognized, and things of that nature. But, Doctor, those things aren't as glamorous, right? Because they don't come with the jewelry. They don't come with the big cars and things of that nature. And how do you think that dynamic of image will change within our community?
Thank you for that question, Mr. Layne. I think there are a lot of people who have done a lot of things that have not been even recognized and honored. And this festival is going to honor.
Sure.
I don't want to reveal because that is really
right.
And I think, and I want to add to, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I wanted to add to what both y'all were saying too. I think it comes also with the territory of who we're respecting. You know what I mean? Because a lot of doctors and teachers and nurses and therapists I know don't want the recognition.
Yeah.
So it's hard to give it to them because they're not looking for it.
It's not. Yeah. It's not ego driven.
It's not. So we have an academy that is sifting through to see who has done what, and some of them is even in very, very humble backgrounds.
Sure.
Who are not even known, but they have done something.
Sure.
Even a lot of people don't know.
Yeah. And I like that because we are in the age of flowers, giving flowers, because even a plant needs appreciation, right? You know what I'm saying? So even though, as Tim said, the people don't want it, it still does something for the soul to say, I see you. I recognize you. So I like that. Yeah.
So we'll have that. And that's why we have the Make History Makers Awards.
Nice.
Awards and honors. The people who will receive awards, others will just be receiving some honors like, hey, this person did this and this. Yeah. And people will be like, oh, yeah, he was a healer in Cincinnati, or he was a bus driver in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Something like that. Or he did something
that
is really great for people to know. And then, of course, others that have done a lot of activist work, both in Africa and also here in the Americas. Because what we are doing is to celebrate people back in the continent and also over here in America. Because this is about combining these two great continents.
Absolutely.
That have a lot of our people. So you'll be hearing activists that have done very well during the civil rights movement. You'll hear people who did a lot in liberating Africa. There's a lot of liberation that went on in Africa.
Absolutely.
Talking of like Mau Mau, I don't know whether you know that. Talking about the South African independence movements. Talking about the West African Kwame Nkrumah time. People who did a lot, but they never talked about.
Listen, I hate to do a shameless plug, but my students need the work. So it sounds like something that should be documented, whether on film or something of that nature. So I want to get with you some people that can possibly, tell that story in a media form, because my students are ready to work. You know what I'm saying? Definitely they're on the radio, as you can see Shane right here, but I have other students as well that I just think that, and even from different perspectives of seeing that award show, that festival, and just capturing different moments, I see a lot. So let's talk offline about it. If you don't have a production team already, I definitely want to include the school, because again, these students are hungry to tell the story, and what better way than to get this story completely out and these people to get more recognition than to have this documented the right way.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, in a week or so, we'll be doing a press pre-launch of the Black History Festival. So all your students are welcome to be there to be present and do a media presentation. We'll be doing a media presentation of this festival so that they can get the word out there. So we'll talk about that.
Absolutely,
yeah. And I think that kind of answers your question, Layne. I think that's how we reach the kids. We have to make these people we're talking about the superheroes.
Yeah.
Instead of Superman and all of them.
Yeah.
They have to look at these people because that's how I was. Like when I was a kid, I was an activist. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? I looked at Huey Newton like,
yeah. Marcus Garvey.
So for me, it's we got to get them excited about these people. We got to, but again, they had those organizations back in the day. They were doing free lunch.
Absolutely.
So we got to bring that spirit back. That's what I mean. Some traditions aren't bad traditions. We got to stop being afraid to practice them.
Yeah. Yes. My last question then, and then we have to wrap things up. What are some of your solutions of bringing the village back together? And not only the village in America, but the village and the traditional things from Africa. How do we implement those things with the African-American tradition? Because a lot of times you do see the separatism between African-Americans and Africans that are in this country. And it shouldn't be so divided, so to speak. So what are some of the things, of course, this festival, of course, so we're not going to overlook that, but even after the festival, what are some of the things that we can do to kind of, improve those African-American and African relations?
Yeah, thank you for that question, Mr. Layne. I think let me start by saying that the smallest village is the family.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
That has to be really solid. We have to start appreciating that village has to start working to be a good model.
Sure.
Because we've seen a lot of broken families. That means broken villages. So to say. So we need to really work on that smallest village. To make sure that it is working, it is sustainable.
Starts at home.
And then we kind of now get into the commune. And I think our people of African descent, those who are from Africa, the people who are now here in the diaspora, many organizations and communities, we need to really embrace together with our Black Americans communities that came here before us. And they came in a different way than us.
Right.
Because everybody came here on a kind of a different way.
Sure.
And kind of see how best we can be able to come together. So our leaders need to be making efforts to have many activities, and we join each other in those activities, whether it is religious activities, whether it is festival activities, whether it is any education event or forum. We try to look for each other and we combine. And that way people are going to see us one. As a one community. Not as a different community.
Absolutely.
Because there are people out there that take advantage of us because they talk to you and separately from the other person and never together. They make sure that you're never together. And that becomes like exploitation.
Right.
Because they don't want to talk to you.
Keeping it separate.
Keep it separately.
Right.
Because as you know, and I keep saying, Africa has a lot to offer. A lot. Let me just go back one step. It's the continent where there was the first university.
Wow.
It's the continent that up to now has more minerals and resources than all the others.
Wow.
And I'm talking of basic facts.
Still now.
So it is the continent that can still have, even outlive others in terms of resources.
Wow.
So we need to be really together so that we can be able to see how we can harness those resources, even for our people that are here.
And we could thank people like Walli and her organizations that bridge that gap of our African brothers and sisters over here. So you know what I'm saying? She's doing a great work, and I'm glad she really brought you in here so you can bring some enlightenment to the people. Definitely. We're coming to the end of our show. We're going to start with Mr. Man. I'm going to do it, and we're going to close out with Walli today.
So it was a pleasure. Thank you. This is what I love. This is why I love going to these festivals, because you never know who you're going to see. And sometimes your mind and life can be changed just by experiencing another person. You know what I mean? And this is all we provide on these networks. This is all we put on these platforms. Like Meek Mill said, I'm not doing this to brag. It's to inspire. You know what I mean? So we're going to keep doing everything we've been doing to bridge that gap and to connect. And it's so many more layers than we think when it comes to people that consider themselves Africans versus African Americans to even natives. You know what I mean? Like, and we got to start realizing we're similar in more ways than we're trying to figure out how we're different. And then that'll bridge that gap, because a lot of it's propaganda. Like in my neighborhoods, me and Africans is cool. We all cool. You know what I mean? We cool. I haven't experienced that. You know what I mean? Them is my guys. Like, and they, you know what I mean? They teach me things. They ask me questions about America. I tell them how it's been. You know what I mean? Some of them came here small, some came here at 20. But they all have different perspectives. And like I learned, we're all trying to figure it out. Yeah. So let's start relating on that. But too, like he said, we got to be in close proximity. Yeah. We got to go to the same, you know, so as Americans, I think sometimes the problem is we're always waiting for somebody else to do something to us. So I had to change the narrative. I started going to Saraga. I started going to the World Market. I start putting myself where they are.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But going in there with a good attitude. Because, too, that's communication. Sometimes we just, you know what I mean? We act like New Yorkers. Yeah, right. That's the best way to put it. You know what I mean? And we're abrasive. And people don't want to approach us. And I had to catch myself from doing that. And since I've done that, I realized I relate to all of them. But, too, like he was saying, we got to try their food. We try their culture. I want to talk to your abuela. You dig? Like, I got to get to know you before I can even have an idea of who you are. So if we truly want to get to know people, we got to get to know them on a molecular level. You know what I mean? Stop caring about income and what they drive and how they talk and how many people they date. And, you know what I mean? Really get to know their heart. Really get to know who they are. Why do they eat this? Why do you, ask from curiosity, not from judgment. And the world is going to open up for you.
Man, that couldn't be said better. Give us one more like, please. One more like. I know you guys want to check in right now. Somebody hasn't hit that like button. Somebody hasn't made a comment. If you hit like, share, and comment, we'll make sure that we track all of that, put you in a raffle so you can get $25 gift card to CJ's. I don't want to leave with a word. I want to leave with this young man because it ties into what Tim and Walisha was saying. And it provides a little comic relief, which we haven't had this segment yet. So let's talk. Listen to this 14-year-old kid talk about his homework, but it's going to tie into what Tim was saying.
Line 2 is unable to connect, so it's telling me Ramon take her ass. Ramon take her ass. You got been working hard and dedicated, day in and day out, day and night.
I want you to hear this example.
Midnight hour, you're hurting your eyes by watching your school, trying to get the education, trying to learn knowledge that you might not even use. But that's okay, because I'm required. Can I get a witness if you say I'm required? To watch it. I'm gonna read.
So what God telling you? You paused it. You better do your side, God. You pause
it. Let's see, I'm on lesson 1.
Let's see. Let me try to get to.
Great, don't want how when I'm moving. How am I?
Here we go. Here we go. This is the part.
You know, I don't want to do the work because God is doing the work in me.
Now listen to what.
How am I supposed to be doing work when He's working in me? I need to rest so He has a stable foundation to upgrade on.
Here we go.
How when I'm moving, how am I going to get upgrades? When a car is getting upgraded, it's in a garage and it's standing still. When a superhero is being upgraded, it's in a garage and it's standing still.
So what he was saying, pretty much, as far as an example, anytime you watch a movie, you see a superhero getting upgraded. Anytime you see a car that is getting its upgrades or going in for whatever mechanics that it needs or any type of maintenance that it needs, it has to stand still. it has to at least be stationary so that you can get the information. A lot of times we're doing this. We want to read all the books. We want to go to all the gyms. We want to go to all the workout programs that are being out there. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not crapping on any hip hop fitness out there. I'm not crapping on anything that is going to get you in shape and get you ready for your 2024. But at the end of the day, we're doing all this hustling and bustling, and we're really not taking time to really upgrade ourselves as to what we want and what we truly need to have a productive 2024. I want to see you get your goals. I do. Tim does. Walli does. Dr. Churi does. But what we don't want you to do is get to June and feel down on yourself and beat yourself up, because basically all these things that you listed on January the 1st, you haven't checked off one thing off of your list. So just take some time out, reevaluate, stand still for a second, okay? And then move forward with what you can move forward with what you're comfortable with. If you pick up the ding dongs this week, it's okay. It's okay. If you pick up the Twizzlers and put them in your back pocket, it's okay, but still, get back up on that horse and do what you got to do, okay? I'm your boy, DJ Layne Love. We're going to close out with Walli.
Yes. Thank y'all so much for coming. Dr. Churi, thank you so much for being our guest today.
And let them know where to go, www.
Yes, I actually put it in the comments here. So for the Black History Festival page, the Facebook page will give you all the information. It's in the comments here on this video, so you can check out their page after the show. Please like the page as well and share with your family. Let them know that there's a way to connect during Black History Month with people from Africa and Black people in America that are living here, and it's on multiple levels. But one of the things I wanted to close out with was when I was in Ghana, there was a man that I met from Compton, and he was telling us about a situation. And the gist of it, I won't get into it since we're running behind time, but there is a certain level of way that you have to move and think here in the States. It's not required in other places in the world. It's not needed. So as you're building your village, as you're coming and connect with people that think like you, and as you're wanting to save your world, right? You start within your own world. Like Dr. Churi said, the smallest village is the family. Like, so you're starting there. That's the strongest, and it's the smallest. It's with family. You're starting there before you expand. But certain ways that you think that you had to think here in the States when it comes to racism or other things, it just does not serve you in the future that you're building. So as you're showing up for yourself, for your family, and for the people that you're being involved with, get control of your thoughts, because certain thoughts does not serve the future that we're building. I don't have to think, oh, he's about to steal my spot, or he's about to steal this and that and the other, or even Shane. I was in class with Shane. He's about to do that. It doesn't serve me to think a certain way when I'm building greatness around me.
Absolutely.
So I have to think that the people that the universe and God's connected me with are people that think like me. They want to see me excel. They want to see me succeed. They have the best interest. So if they have those great thoughts about me, I in return have to come to the table with great energy, great thoughts.
Absolutely.
So if you're from Compton, if you're from America and you've been raised, it's natural for us. We have the receptors of our ancestors that were enslaved, that were beaten, that were murdered in front of our family. We have these things inside of us. So naturally, your guard is up with certain things. However, the more you get into your food and what you're listening to and what you're watching and conversations and even the people you have in your environment, the more that you cleanse and water yourself, right? Cleansing is water. The more you do that, you will magnetize. You'll bring in great people that think like you. So you naturally be able to let those guards down, right? Because it just doesn't serve us to think that I'm building this paradise and my brother is about to try to steal my paradise. No, he in the paradise with me. He's welcome. We're both welcome. Right. So the thoughts that I have of him is, man, I'm so excited that he's here in paradise with me. I'm happy that him and his family get to experience this. I'm happy with whatever is just great thoughts. It's no room for these other thoughts that we've been doing, jealousy and envy and that and the other. So as you're building your village, cleanse yourself of thoughts that don't serve the future that you're expecting to be in.
Absolutely. This is Good Friday with Good Life Russ, the Birth Plug, Walli. I'm your auntie's favorite DJ on the Layne Love Morning Show. I want y'all to put a hand clap in the comments for Shane. Shane, our graduate, our emphasis, our film emphasis person. Again, thank you for taking the time out to get us some footage and things of that nature. You'll probably see a couple of things and some reels. God loves you and I do too. Have a great week. We out here. Peace.
Thank you.